Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, all today's guests, including John Shannon, standing by, brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. Giants are at the LEC for 2 games this weekend. Friday, they take on the Blazers at 7. They then go to Kamloops for a game Saturday. Sunday, they face Prince George, 4 p.m. at the LEC. Barclay Pernetta of the Giants joining us next segment. Grab your tickets for the Giants' final 3 home games at vancouvergiants.com/tickets. Before we get to John, Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. This is actually from Twitter. This is from Nav. For a guy like Don that goes on and on about the 70s and hockey, surprised with this take, it's 3-0. Why wouldn't you fight him? No matter what, a 3-0 lead should be safe.
That's right.
That's a great submission.
Great point.
That's a very good point. I'm like, you're up 3-0. Why would you bother? 3-0 at home against a tired team. Nav is bang on. So you guys didn't bring up good points like that. Otherwise, I might have agreed with you. NHL Analyst, co-host of the Bob McCown podcast, joining us now. John Shannon, how are you, sir?
Hello, boys. And by the way, Donnie, I am so impressed that within seconds you identified Al Smith in that picture. You are a true hockey nerd.
Yes, I am very
hockey nerd. Very good. I am so proud.
I recognize the mask.
Exactly.
And I have no idea why, but a great Penguin goaltender of the past, along with Les Binkley and Andy Brown. Name. I don't want to get John going because he'll mention every Penguin goaltender there's ever been.
I was in Pittsburgh on the weekend, so what the heck, right?
Yeah, Colby Armstrong does those ads for the USA, and one of the towns he visited was Pittsburgh. It looks really nice. Am I wrong?
It is a great city. Colby lives in Pittsburgh. It is a great city. The downtown, I would tell you what, we were there on a Saturday night. Every restaurant was full. It was vibrant. But such great fans. It's not a very big city. Vancouver is twice the size of Pittsburgh. And so from that perspective, the suburbs are great. I love going to Pittsburgh. It's a simple 4-hour drive from my house to the Steel City, so it's an easy commute.
Yeah, that's one NHL city I haven't been to. All right, overtime, Avalanche come back from a 3-0 deficit, and they beat the Canucks 4-3. I'm going to ask the obvious question here, John, but, man, I'm telling you, I couldn't take my eyes, like a lot of people, off Nathan MacKinnon. Just how impressive is he right now, and would you say he's the front runner for the Hart?
I would. I put it between he and McDavid for the Hart Trophy. I think Kucherov has fallen off a little bit in the last little while. The impressive thing about McKinnon, he's like a locomotive, right? He'll power right through you, but he does have such great speed. And what has really come to light, particularly, I think since the year they won the Stanley Cup, is his drive to win. You remember the famous shot of he and Jared Bednar getting into an argument on the bench in Calgary. You could take sides on that, whether he's being spoiled or whether he's, doesn't know what the coach is trying to do. But what you see now is a driven player. And to me, that's the thing that you see emotionally every night with McKinnon. They did the same thing in a second period in Calgary the night before when they scored 5 goals, and they just looked uncontrollable. And as much as your buddy Nav tweeted in about the 3-0 lead, I don't agree. I don't think 3-0 leads are safe in this league anymore. It used to be 2, now it's 3. When you think of special teams, when you think of the fact that you can't hold and hook as much as you did, 3-0 leads are not safe anymore. And I wouldn't have done anything different than the Canucks other than probably play a little more tenacious in the offensive zone.
John, the Pettersson contract is over, so what we do in Vancouver is we focus on the next one.
Isn't it great?
Isn't it great how it works? Filip Hronek, some say he could ask for over $8 million. But here's the thing, Donnie. John. If you look into called you Donnie. If you look into Rutherford's past, if you outprice yourself in a market, sometimes you might have to be moved. This is going to be very interesting which way this ends up with Hronek.
How come they're not dealing? I mean, you're right about everybody talking about Hronek, but why aren't they talking about Zadorov first? Because he's an unrestricted free agent.
They need to know Hronek's number so they can know how much they got left for all the rest of the UFAs. Is my gut.
But Tyler Myers is coming off the books.
No, he's not. They're going to try and re-sign him.
He might.
They're going to give it a shot.
They're going to try to re-sign him at their price, not his
at their price, not his. Yeah.
And the only reason I ask that is there's still a controllable year for Hronek.
Yes.
There's still a controllable year. So, our pal Friedman basically said the same thing you said in his 21 Thoughts today, which was, I mean, we got through Pettersson and now we're already dealing with the next guy. Here's the deal. They really haven't had substantive talks since last November. Mm-hmm. Was there an offer made? I think, from a Canuck perspective, I think they probably think they made an offer. From the other side, I suspect the thought was they threw out a dollar figure, and now the negotiations are going to begin. And when and how that occurs, it will be in a timely fashion. I don't think that they're in any hurry to do it prior to July the 1st, but it would be nice. But here's the question you have to ask. Quinn Hughes was here last year. JT Miller was here last year. Mm-hmm. Pettersson was here last year. Where was the team in the standings? Filip Hronek shows up, and and you guys notice it as much as I do, a much more confident blue line with Hronek in it. So the challenge will be he will make more than the $4.4 million that he's making this year. Do I think he should make more than Quinn Hughes? No, I don't. I don't think he should make more than Quinn Hughes. But, I think it has to start with a 7.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I by the way, I think in their heart of hearts, in the front office, they know it has to start with a 7 as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hey, the Canucks, remember the previous regime, the management group was very small, skimpy. And all of a sudden now the new regime comes in, and now extensions for Ryan Johnson, Emily Castonguay, and Cammy Granato. A lot of people in management. Looks like, it's a group that likes each other, gets along, and there's a lot of focus there. What did you think of the extensions? For everyone's been extended. Going back to Rutherford, Alvin, and now 3 yesterday. Looks like a lot of synergy in management.
I think so, and I think you do have to give Jim Rutherford credit for putting together the original group, and looking at each of their strengths. Emily Castonguay probably doesn't get enough credit or attention that she should. I'm not knocking Cammy for one bit. I know Cammy's working hard, but Emily Castonguay, I think, will be the next, or be the first ever general manager in the National Hockey League that is a woman, or according to the Canadian Supreme Court, a person with a vagina. So from that perspective, I do think that this group is strong. They communicate well. By the way, you may think it's large. It's not larger than some of the other organizations in the league. You have to look at a telephone directory to hire everybody in Toronto. So from that perspective, I would say that there's lots of positives with this group. I think it's a tight group, and I think they do communicate well, and hence everybody got the extension. And by the way, Ryan Johnson deserves a ton of credit for what he's built in Abbotsford too. Building a minor league program is not easy. It's not easy, and to do it in the shadow of the big club might even be more challenging, and he's obviously done something that everybody appreciates.
Tomorrow on the show, someone from the Canadian Supreme Court, John.
Okay. Seriously.
Okay.
That's what they call it. That's what they said. Yes. I can't, I didn't even think I could use the word on television, but apparently I can.
Okay, now off the subject here, I'm looking on Wikipedia, and it can't, or the Google machine here. It says the driving distance between, I didn't know it was so close. Toronto and Pittsburgh is 5 hours. You said 4 hours. Do you have a Concorde or?
I live on the west side of the city, so it's easy for me.
Okay.
I'm an hour to Buffalo and 3 hours from Buffalo to Pittsburgh.
That's so
very nice.
I love that about the
you know
East.
what? This is why so many scouts live in this corridor: Vancouver, Buffalo, Detroit. You see so much hockey constantly. You can see college hockey, you can see American League hockey, you can see junior hockey. Oh, and you can see the NHL as well.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that about the East. John, thanks so much for this. Appreciate it.
I got on that topic. I couldn't resist.
No, that's fine. It's awesome. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Yeah.